Hi, I'm Jack Benjamin, a reporter for the Media Leader, and I'm here in Cologne, Germany at Dmexco, the digital marketing and advertising trade show. And I'm here with Nick Pinks, the CEO of Covatic.
Hi,
Nick,
Jack.
it's great to see you.
Thanks so much. Thank you for coming.
Nick, I guess it would be great just to start, say, what brought you to Dmexco, why are you guys here, and what do you hope to get from the experience?
Cool. Well, this is the first time we've ever exhibited at Dmexco, so we're really, really excited to be here. It's the first time we've ever really gone to market in any big way, really, as Covatic. And for us, it's a sort of joke. It's a bit of sort of coming of age moment for Covatic. We've got a really exciting product set for the ad tech industry, and it felt like Dmexco was the right sort of event for us to be at. There's lots of media agencies here. There's lots of ad tech vendors. Lots of our partners are here. And so for us to, having recently completed our investment at the beginning of this year, it made sense to make a mark in the sand today and to introduce the world to Covatic.
I'm curious on a personal level, what brought you into the media and advertising industry in the first place, and what led you to start Covatic?
So I used to work at the BBC. I've always loved media. I've always loved TV. I used to be in theatre, backstage when I was a kid. I've always loved entertainment and the techie side of life. So when I went to university, I then got very involved in student television and got very involved with sort of editing systems, joined the BBC, joined research and development. I worked there for about 7 years. And while I was at the BBC, I realised that I was working with a group of people looking at a license fee renewal paper, looking at the sort of future of how the broadcast industry might evolve. And it became apparent that the likes of Facebook and Facebook at the time, Google, were collecting huge amounts of personal data to personalize their their show reels and also personalize their experiences. And I felt that as a broadcast industry, we were perhaps lagging behind. And with the introduction of the GDPR about to hit, it might be too late for us to start playing catch up. So as an industry, we had to go one step further. And that was sort of the stepping off point for Covatic. Can we bring something to the broadcast sector that could really help understand their users so that they could provide a much better personalized experience? That evolved over a couple of years to be an advertising product, an advertising proposition, and that's where we are today.
You mentioned GDPR. Obviously, we're looking very soon at a post-cookie future. I'm curious what you see as the most significant challenges facing publishers, facing broadcasters going into that future. I mean, we've been looking down this barrel for many years now, but we're certainly getting closer.
Well, first of all, I think it's an incredible opportunity. Like, I don't see it as a challenge. I see it as an amazing opportunity for the industry to go take a step back and just look at what are we trying to achieve. Cookies have led us down a path of capturing personal data, never a great thing, but get addicted to that drug, and it's meant that as it's got harder to collect a cookie, they've had to do more and more very complicated and expensive, very different tech implementations. It's got really messy. It's not transparent. It relies on a huge stack of very difficult tech. And so it's an opportunity for the industry to take a step back and go, well, actually what I'm really trying to do is get the right advert in front of an audience group who are likely to want to buy my product. Can I do that better? And so for Covatic and for us, and as the industry is evolving, it's like, actually this is a great moment to go, well, can we simplify it? Can we be a bit more efficient? Can we be a bit more private? And is it possible that we can deliver a bit more addressability? And if we can tick those 3 boxes, then I think as an industry we've done really well, actually, and seen it and seized the opportunity that I think it is.
And how would you describe the innovative aspect of what you're trying to do at Covatic relative to lots of other people in this space that are working on the same things?
Yeah. So I think the really big differentiator for Covatic is the fact that we do everything on device. And what we mean by that is there are no cookies, there are no IDs. We don't track anybody. And we don't track anybody because we don't have to. In today's world, you might have a media instance, something a person does something online, we try to track it, we bring it to a big database on the back end, and we try to reason it. That's how the industry works. Well, with Covatic, we do it the other way around. We keep all of those activities, all of the consumptions, everything that the person does local to them on their device, in their browser, or in their, very much on the client side, in their mobile, on their smart speaker, wherever the platform is running. We understand what that means. And as opposed to trying to publish a person or bring a person to the back end, we actually turn around and say, well, what's the agency trying to find, or what's the brand trying to achieve? We take those rules and publish them down to the device. And the device then says, well, does Nick sit inside this demographic that we're trying to achieve? If he does, we just return back an audience campaign code to the ad engine. So the ad engine can work the way it always has worked. They don't have to change any of that stuff. It's just, as opposed to trying to reason a person, it's just working on a segment ID, which is much, much more private and effective.
Nick, I'm curious, publishers and broadcasters have been working with companies to build, data clean rooms and back-end databases for a while. Do you see an issue with that strategy relative to, perhaps what you guys offer?
I like the definition of a data clean room. If you've got a clean room, you've got to have a dirty room, like either side of it, right? Because otherwise it's all clean. And there is the crux of the problem. I think you build a clean room if you want to. It's expensive, it's complicated, it's going to be really difficult to maintain. You're always having to subscribe to other third-party data sources to keep it filled up. Ultimately, you're trying to match between what's on the buy side and what's on your side, on the sell side. And that's really, really difficult. And it's a phenomenally complex beast. And so, yeah, I mean, lots of people are doing it. Lots of people invested very heavily in that tech. And there are, in a fully consented, and if your audience really understands what they're doing, there's benefit to it. And it does provide a degree of privacy over not having a clean room. But it's a technical challenge that you might not need to really undertake. And I think that's something which the industry should really be looking into. And it's only at Covatic we're proponents of.
Last question. What would you say is the broad risk of getting things wrong? I mean, for the wider industry, when it comes to post-cookie strategies, what do you risk by not jumping in and getting things right?
I think it's an incredibly disruptive time for the industry. But we have to accept it is. I mean, whether you want to stay with cookies or not stay with cookies, they're going. Platforms are forcing your hand. Apple have been doing it for quite a while, obviously. We saw a couple of years ago the impact of the IDFA, or the removal of the IDFA and ATT. We are going to see the impact of topics and the change of how Google are removing their cookies. It has an unintended, maybe an intended consequence that on the buy side, if there are no cookies feeding the top of the funnel, as in, I can't track somebody between the different things that they do that I'm using to build I want to target this group of people. How do the sell side match that? So how does a publisher and a broadcaster somehow match this mythical list of people that's going away? So I think it challenges on both sides. So I think you've got no choice but to start to innovate, but to try different things. I think you want to look at solutions that are additive. You'll probably be seeing your addressable reach decline. We're seeing that across all of our clients and across a lot of the tech, a lot of the platforms. So if you can complement that with technologies like Covatic, you'll see your audience reach increase. And I think it's an additive. I think it's an additional solution. There's nothing wrong with running, well-engineered solutions side by side to really maximize it. And in doing so, you can help educate your team. You can help educate yourself. You can start to get dip your toe in the water to get a really good understanding of the different approaches out there. If you stay siloed, and I'm going to force everybody down this one path, I think you might have a challenge in a few years' time. And I think that's probably the biggest risk I'd be sort of saying to people interested.
And hope to avoid that.
I would really hope they would. And I think it's something that you can, as I was saying earlier, it's an opportunity now. And boards and CFOs of the world realize this change is happening. So I think you have a little bit of freedom right now to try different approaches, to see what's out there in the market, because you will be under no doubt pressure to make your decision soon. Like, there will be people that say, well, we've got to do this, and whatever this is. And if you don't have the opportunity to experiment and to investigate other approaches, it's going to be really difficult.
Well, Nick, thank you so much for joining me to chat. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you so much. Really nice.